Yo,
Can you hear me?
can you hear me, dude? But I can't hear you. What the fuck?
What the heck?
But all my like buttons would have brightened your day.
What doesn't kill you just isn't finished yet.
Can you hear me? Hello? Yo,
Yo,
can you hear me?
yeah, I can hear you now.
I switched
So
to
what was wrong?
no, I switched to the webcam camera. I don't know what's
Yeah?
going on. There's some weird shit going on. I'm gonna switch back to another thing. Give me a sec. Can you hear me now? No, can't hear me. Can't hear me. Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yo,
Really?
yeah, I can hear you, dude.
There's some weird shit going on.
Mm.
I had to change settings because we had that meeting on Microsoft Teams.
You had to change settings.
Yeah, Microsoft Teams. I was doing anyway. Yeah,
Mm.
work meeting stuff. So I don't know if that screwed up the.
But I mean, we were having issues the past few days in any
Yeah,
case.
but that was because the client even kept disconnecting. Anyway, you think your ping is gonna be better?
Mm, most probably. Thing is, I can't get hold of this web web Africa guys. I wanted them to reset my line. The ping is still high though. Yes, that's dude.
What's your ping there?
Showing 250, 240. Yeah, man, it's gonna be the same issue now. At least I'm in the jungle. I
Yeah,
don't have
you're
to.
not. Yeah, cool.
Why is it so high though, bro? And I mean, which means then it's the line that is having issues.
Mine is fine. So
This is some bullshit though. Why would I have a fucking 100 meg line, pay so much and then get this bullshit? Like this is now this one here. I'm not happy about this, bro. Those guys might sort out my line for sure. Like how it seems like it's as if they're throttling the line.
Nah, you know what's happening?
Why would they throttle the line, dude?
Everyone
What the fuck?
is at home downloading stuff, dude.
Hmm?
There's a doctor that's on my Facebook. He says he couldn't even hold a meeting online because everyone's like
Dude,
clogging the
you're
net.
breaking. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's the internet again.
I'm saying that he was complaining that he couldn't hold a meeting online because
Nah, dude, you're breaking. It keeps on breaking. I'm only hearing parts of what you're saying.
can you hear now?
Something is wrong. Oh. Look at that. My ping is 270 now. Ah, dude. Fuck this
We'll
thing.
report. I'm saying that this doctor couldn't hold a meeting because of the bad internet in South Africa. He's telling people on Facebook not to constantly watch.
Dude, I'm trying to make up what you're saying. Oh my goodness.
Watch this.
It's mine.
Fuck, my ping is 260, bro. Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, honestly, what the fuck? It's fucking bullshit,
You
man.
see my ping there?
Yeah, I see.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Look at mine.
Come on, you used to play with that ping back in
It's sticky, so you don't drop it.
30 seconds until minions spawn. A summoner has disconnected.
Oh shit, dude.
A summoner has reconnected. Minions have spawned.
Dip it in sewage, leave it in the sun for a while. Oh yes, that's perfect. Yes.
So no one is gonna help me. I guess I'm gonna start. Oh no, I can't. It's too late.
Oh,
No, it's okay. Fuck, this thing is still lagging, bro. Like, it's taking long.
Hey, what did I step in?
does it feel slower?
Yeah, when you're casting.
Oh, that's gonna fester.
Oh, dude, and I with Javelin, I need that combo. Oh, oh my goodness. I don't know how I'm gonna. If there's a remake here, I'm not gonna play. Fuck. Yeah, you see what's going on.
From out of the sewers comes doom.
Huh?
Green.
Weekend, we screwed.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna sort it out tomorrow morning. I need to. Those guys need to at least respond into their WhatsApp or something. I don't know what's fucking going on.
All myself.
Yeah, they must fucking work.
Reset the stuff.
Yeah, I think they need to reset my line.
Stand still. My ally.
Oh, there's it.
So you're not.
No, I can't take this. It's bad. Like, the thing is, when I check my speed, I didn't check the speed right now. Honestly. So I'm gonna go to speed test and see. Oh, dude, this is some bullshit though.
But you
You can see, I mean, I restarted the ONT
Did
as
you
well as the
restart
router. I
everything?
restart.
Your PC.
Yeah, even my computer.
Did you unplug your computer?
Yeah. Nah, no, I just clicked on restart, dude.
Did you unplug the router and the ONT?
Yeah.
For how long?
Maybe a few minutes.
Yeah, they normally
Maybe
say.
the download speed is an 84 megabits per second. I mean, that should still be fast enough. What the hell? But
So
it
that's your
shows that
speed
it's a
test.
bit.
80, how much?
Normally, it should be around 98, isn't it?
I was also getting about 86 earlier. I wasn't getting
There's no
more than
packet
70.
loss, nothing. No jittering.
What's
The
your
ping is
what's your main ping?
Hmm?
What's your ping there? South African ping.
5 milliseconds.
Mine is 3 milliseconds, 90 megabits per second, 91, no, 93.
Yours is what? 3 milliseconds and what? What
90,
server are you connected to?
MWeb Connect in Joburg.
Why is this fucking thing not showing me the servers now? Isn't it normally shows you the servers that what the hell is going on here? Did they update this app or something?
What app are you using?
I
Oh, you're
did-
using the Wi-Fi. I'm running the
Yeah,
speed
speed
test
test. You're running it on the.
on my
Okay, let me
desktop.
see. Uh, that Google speed testing, no?
I'm using speedtest.net on the web browser.
Hmm. Oh, that Google one is showing what 96.9 megabits per second. Do you think it's the server though? What? But man,
No,
yours
but
is fine. It can't be the server. Something is wrong, dude. I think they need to reset my line. Look, the latency is what 4 milliseconds. That's to Joburg. The server is in Joburg.
Google's.
Upload speed is 47.7.
I'm getting 70 megabits per second on Google speed test.
Is that on SpeedNet?
No, this
Speed test.
70 is on Google.
Okay, I'm gonna try speed test now. Let's see.
Speed test, I'm getting 93.
That Google one is giving you 76.
70.
Whatever. Speed test is also giving me about 97 on the desktop, 97 megabits per second.
Yeah, so yours is fast. The heck.
Latency is 4 megabits per second. Sorry, 4
Latency 4
milliseconds.
megabits.
Dude, I'm not fucking thinking straight, but I'm just like saying these things, yeah,
Your
on what I'm
latency
saying.
was 4 megabits per second.
Doesn't make sense at all. 48.34 the upload speed. It doesn't show me any, but it's
According
fine.
to what you're saying, your connection is better than mine.
My connection is fine, but what the fuck is wrong, dude?
Can you change your server to MWeb Connect?
Nah, that could
Just
help.
to compare to my speed.
Because when I'm downloading shit fast, I mean, I was downloading a few movies earlier.
What
It's
I'm
like
saying
super.
is, so we can test my connection to that same server and your connection to the same server, and then we can see if
Oh
there's a
yeah,
problem.
but now change what the server on what change the server on what speed test.
Yes, you click on the server.
Which server are you using?
MWeb Connect.
MWeb Connect.
So just search for MWeb Connect in Joburg.
MWeb Connect in Joburg, ne?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see. So I'm using that yeah on speedtest.net. Okay, let me see what's happening.
I'm hitting it at
So
the
the
same
ping
time.
seems to be the same, 5 milliseconds.
I've got 4.
5 megabytes. The download speed is about 97, 971, 972, 972.
Yours is faster. Mine's 92.
The upload, yours is 90.
92.
The upload is 48 to 48.3.
Mine's
48
45.
Hmm?
Mine's 46. 46.
Yeah, so what the fuck, man? The ping is, well, I guess it's not it's a slight difference, is it? But I mean, a ping, obviously 1 millisecond
Is
is a
there not
lot.
something else on your machine that's throttling your network or something? Is there nothing downloading in
Let
the
me go
background?
to, no, dude. That's the thing. I don't understand what's happening, bro.
Because
Let me
I
just
only have
check on.
that problem when like the PlayStation is busy in the background hogging up the internet.
Bro, nothing is running in the background. Even if it's the PlayStation, I mean, come on, man. It doesn't really. It shouldn't really change the ping by so much. I mean, normally you should get what between 190 to 10 to. But now I'm getting 260, 280. What the hell? Check this line here. If I could.
It doesn't look like it's the line, dude. I don't understand.
Hmm?
Oh, maybe your external maybe change your server to something in Europe.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking on the router.
No, on speed test. Go to speed test and search for something in Europe. Can you do that?
Search for what, bro? Hmm? Can you hear me, dude?
I'm
Oh, you gone now?
thinking, I'm trying something.
Yeah.
I typed in Germany, so I'm choosing Munich Internet X.
So a server in Germany, in Munich.
Yeah.
There's a lot of servers in
Internet X GmbH.
Internet X
Yeah.
in Munich, ne?
Yeah.
Ah, dude, is that one in Germany?
Yeah. Munich, Germany GmbH.
But it's in Munich, ne? That town, what city?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Aren't those guys in Berlin?
That's why I'm
Those
just saying.
Those servers.
Yeah, it's somewhere there. So
I think I must check Berlin after.
But-
Okay, so this one.
just check your ping.
The ping is 203 on Munich.
Mine is 195.
But that's fine. That's acceptable for me. What's not acceptable is when you're getting 195 and I'm getting 290. Oh, no, 270.
And my download is 49 and my upload is 44.
My download is 77.
Yeah, you see, there's nothing wrong with your bloody internet. Let's type Berlin.
Hmm?
Berlin.
Yeah, my upload is 45. Okay, let me see. Yeah, let me try Berlin.
Okay, Kronon in Berlin.
Cronon in Berlin, no?
Kronon. Kronon.
Yeah, I got it.
Because it sounds like Corona, that's why I chose it.
The Corona server. Getting to 11, dude.
I've got 203.
You see, that's acceptable. I'm happy with that. But there's just too much of a difference when we are playing from the ping you're getting to what I'm getting. The download is 52.
My download is 81.
The download is 81.
Mm.
Holy crap. Why is there so much difference with these
I
things
don't
now?
know. I don't understand. I think we are on different.
Is it Web Up, what's that? M-Web is also in Cape Town, isn't it? Just like Web Africa.
But remember, aren't you on OpenServe also?
Hmm?
Are you on OpenServe?
Yeah.
I'm also on OpenServe. It should have the same.
Yeah, but if they continue like this, I'm gonna fucking change to that fruit what like grist.
Frog
What
fruit,
do you
yeah.
call it? Yeah, because these guys here now they're starting to fuck around. It's not the first time I'm having issues with the internet.
Dude, if I had the option for frog fruit, I would jump same time. Because they have that gigabit line. Holy crap.
Yeah, yeah, but you like speed. What the hell? I also like speed, but I don't know if
No,
I'm good.
but
I don't
for 1 month at least you test it.
You just want to experience that
Fourth
gigabit.
place.
You know what?
We talked
This
about
guy.
how expectations should be that maybe Mad could upset, but in reality,
I can imagine how
the
fast
expectations should
downloading
be
stuff
quite
is
low.
on that
And now
time.
they're primed and ready
On a line
to
like that.
secure
I have to
that
upgrade my
fourth
router
place
and
spot.
everything.
ahead of so many other favorites.
These guys here
Actually,
have a
especially
200
with
meg
how
line, I
the
think.
playoff bracket's going to work now, considering
Profit.
they get
The
another live.
prices
I
are
think
reasonable.
for
But the
being
only
able to
issue
keep
that I
it
have,
going
I
to be
almost
so
changed
important because
fucking
in the
infrastructure,
end,
man. You have to
this
come here and
roster, this is the first best of five they're going to
and
play.
they don't share
There's
this
gonna be a lot of
infrastructure.
players,
It's like
there's going
back
to be a lot
then
of
in
things that you need
ADSL.
to figure out, and maybe that extra
You have
life
to.
is
They
going
come
put
here,
them
Frankfurt
in a
to come with
completely
their own
different
thing,
light.
put their own line
Yeah,
here.
and I think that that's something that we have
But
to
if
take
this
into
thing continues like this,
consideration,
I might have
when
to
you
change.
look at Mad, they're
Because
a really interesting team.
it seems like this
For the
working
vast
from home
majority
thing
of
might
the
be like
split,
something they're
they
gonna
actually
go
spend a lot
with
of their early
for
games
future.
in
I
a
hope-
deficit.
I hope
They're
this
actually
country goes down
tied
that
for the
road, because
most
then it saves
deficits.
me
at
time.
It's about time we
10
that
out of
fucking
their
shit, man.
16
The
games,
reason my
but they're
driving
actually
is
5-5. Right? This is a
Dude, what's
team
up?
that
Why
can
is you keep on
gradually
breaking? Is it
put
the line?
points
Is you think
into
it's my
games
internet?
because of the way they
Well,
Can't be, man.
because of
I
the
don't
way
know.
they
It's just
defend,
voice.
because of the way they play. This team seems to just have such
I
a
don't know.
good grasp of the
Wait,
fundamentals
you know
of
what
how
to
to
do.
play through their win
Control-
conditions
check
that they've
your
just
task
steadily
manager,
improved
check
upon
your
throughout the
network
split
performance.
to get them in a position to secure this 4th place spot.
Let me see.
Let me ask you this question. Seeing how this is 4 rookies
Network
in Illinois, you know,
versus
who,
Fnatic.
of course, doesn't
Hmm?
have that
You
many
see?
years under
Mad
his
Lions
belt
versus
either.
Fnatic.
Is this a good problem to have? The fact
Yo,
that
dude,
if
I
they
have
have all the
I can't
information,
I don't
they
know
have
what
a
you're
bit of an
saying.
X factor, they're
Mad
able to
breaking.
upset the top teams or win versus the top teams.
Oh,
And they're able to
on
come back in the games
thingy.
where they've lost the early games, because
LEC.
often we see from
The
these younger
LEC.
teams
You
that
said I
they
must check
can't
under what
have
Ethernet?
games where they've gotten a
Under
lead, so this solves the
performance
opposite
Ethernet.
problem.
Is
it a
that
better
is that where I
problem
must
to
look?
have?
What do you want me
I
to
think
check
that
Go
again?
is
to
a better problem
performance
to
under
have.
task
I think most of the
manager.
time when you have
Task
rookies
manager.
like blasting out on the scene,
Ethernet.
it's usually
Yeah, that's why I am. It's
the
just
80
CPU,
carries,
memory,
the sick
disk,
players,
Ethernet,
but I
and
just feel
GPU.
like Kaiser and Shadow
And what's your
brings
send
that
receive
sense
rates
of
going at now without you
understanding
doing
how to
anything?
move. Basically,
Send
on the
is
map,
like
they play together super
8.0
well, they control
kilobits
space
per
super
second.
well.
Oh, it's in
I think
kilobits.
in general they show a
A
lot of
receive
good
is
signs
like
of a team
changing
that is
between
going to
0
go a
and
lot
40.
in the making. I think
Oh, well, send does
considering
go
this is
to
the
about
first
48.
string and they're trying to operate
Okay,
at a
But it's
high
all
level
kilobits.
So
instead
I'm
of trying to,
streaming
you know,
to YouTube now.
settle for something small. I
And
think it's super
my
cool, but
send
it's going
is
to bring a
about
lot of
3-4
inconsistency
megabits per
to the
second.
table that we saw in,
My
for example,
receive
Humanoid and also Shadow sometimes.
is about
Yeah, and I think that one of the concerns I have
80
around
to 4
this team
megabits
is not
because I'm
only their
streaming, I'm
inconsistencies,
watching
but when you
LEC
look
here
at their early game,
on the
they
laptop.
typically
On
Okay,
the
play through the bot
let me
side of
see
the
if
map.
I can.
And when you're going up against a team like
Okay, there's a
Fnatic,
live
that's a
thing
very
here when I
scary
stream
thing
it.
to do. In week 8, Fnatic heavily invested in the bot side.
Uh,
Brooklyn was roaming down
oh
that
man,
a
it
lot.
jumps
This
to
is
like
something that he does a
136
fair amount
kilobits
typically,
per
but last
second.
week, it felt like they were
But that's
all over
YouTube,
the hype
isn't it?
train, and
YouTube is not
it
so.
was very difficult for
I'm
Not so
Brooklyn to
heavy,
be
is it?
able to
I'm
deal
watching
with.
it on
We saw some
the,
great Pantheon play. We saw
You
some
see,
great
now I'm
Pantheon
receiving
play,
between 0,
and
but it's
overall,
just
I
this
feel
thing
like
just
the
fluctuates, right?
duo
Moves from
of
0
Reckless
to
and
3.4.
Wilco
It's not
is so
stable.
impactful in
It's
Fnatic.
2.4 megabits per second.
That's so
What the fuck?
crazy.
No,
You
but
see, now it's
When
4
we talk
megabits.
about,
Yeah,
like
no,
roads
mine is also
improvements,
doing
Mad
that.
Lions
That's fine.
improvements,
That
but
looks
in the
good.
end, I feel like Fnatic
Because
and G2
But the send
kind
is-
of
It
improved the
downloads
most
Yeah.
going into the second half. Fnatic specifically,
No.
something
I,
just
dude,
clicked.
I
feel
don't know
like
what's
the trust
happening.
is
Do you
there.
think maybe the
It's
cable
realizing
is
that,
messed
you know,
up?
we can
Maybe
just
it
play
could be.
around
Network.
and have to figure that out in order to shape us up.
Don't you think
for
maybe
that
that's what
best
I
of
must
five
change?
that's bound to happen.
Let me move to Wi-Fi
I
and
think
see.
Fnatic's
Yeah.
trajectory has been
Yeah,
absolutely crazy.
yeah. When I change to
No, yeah, that's
Wi-Fi,
absolutely true. If you look at Fnatic, they've cleaned up so much also still in their game. They're dying
Go
much
to
less when they're
Wi-Fi.
still killing people very much. But if you look at
Yeah,
Fnatic's
actually, I
last
should have
9
tried that
games,
earlier.
they've
What the
lost to 2 teams, gentlemen. Who were those teams?
G2,
Yeah, and?
Mad
Okay,
Lions.
I'm on
The
Wi-Fi
Mad
now.
Lions. So there we go. How much of a chance do you give this Mad Lions versus this
Yeah, I'm on Wi-Fi now. Let me see.
season or late split Fnatic?
I
Doesn't
feel
change
like
much
that
on
we
the
count Mad
performance.
Lions out every single time.
But I wanted to
So
check. What
as
are we
long as
checking
keep
the
counting them out,
servers?
possibility of an upset is
Uh,
real.
let
And
me
today
see.
we've seen some serious upsets. We've seen a lot of
Speed
challenges. So you know what?
I want to
think
see if
that
we
right
can maybe. What was the other one?
now,
Berlin. eh?
temperatures
That
are
Corona.
optimal. Everything is perfect for the upset to
I still
happen. So
haven't seen-
keep your eyes on Mad. I think they're going to make this game spicy.
Someone's
Temperatures?
predicting that
How-
Mad Lions
what are we
will-
I lost the
30,
word. I was looking for like
It's
the
gonna be who?
environment, the setting, and I went with
It's
temperatures.
Alright, 21.
Hey, dude,
Okay,
I haven't been
please,
following. And
Celsius
the
status.
quality.
Honestly,
Is it?
I wanted to say the videos.
Look,
I was gonna say that-
I kind of get what he wants to say, but I agree.
Yeah. I think the LEC one, like you said,
They
it sounds much better
so
and it
forth,
looks
Mad Lions just
cooler.
need to win that one game to get forward.
So not LEC, I mean the LCS one.
The LCS one.
LEC,
That it
yeah, the
is. Let's
LCS
see
one
what
is like
happens.
clean,
Mad
bro.
Lions are fighting to secure 4th place, but in their way.
Yeah, I saw it. I watched
Let's see what happens.
like a few some of the highlights on Sunday for the Saturday games. It wasn't so bad. The first day was horrible.
Thank you
dude.
very
That
much,
Friday, holy
Shots. Now,
crap.
I'm Dracos, and one man who has not left the cast, despite us changing from the caster desk to the analyst
They
desk,
weren't even talking
is
about
Jacob
exactly
Yamano
what's
Mebdi. And I love this because this is something that's only possible in the
Yes.
digital world. Because in our studio,
Yeah, it was just
you would have
Corona,
had to run
dude.
like Usain Bolt himself to make it to the caster desk on time, but now you just get to chill, dude. Now
You-
we're just
you
gonna
had
have
that somebody
a
died
similar
today from
conversation,
Corona.
but with live
Yeah.
gameplay behind it.
Honestly, just try me,
Woman from
man.
Cape
I
Town
can jog
who,
in my
worked at
alligator
Sunrise.
shoes. You know, I can get to the desk.
Yo? Where did you get all that information?
Shoot, you're at home, sitting
Yeah.
at your
I've
desk.
been
I got the inspiration from you.
What
I got the
son?
inspiration from you. Put the
Yeah.
picture with
That's
the
a
nice,
bit too much
you look good,
information,
man,
dude.
too. It kind of makes sense. It puts
Actually,
me
anyway,
they named
It makes
her,
you feel
and
more
I
like a
Google
person
searched
when you've been living in your house all
and
day,
I
when you
found
put
her
on
name.
shoes
They
for a
named
portion
her.
of your day when you're supposed to work.
Yeah.
I see it.
Yeah.
I get it. Now that we are entering picks and bans for FIFA
Alright,
versus
dude,
Madden,
so
as you talked about on the
I'm
desk,
back.
this is a game with
I'm
huge
back to that
stakes.
Corona.
So something that we
server.
have to just
It's like
generally
207
keep our eyes on is what
milliseconds now.
exactly,
It
how
was
how
207
exactly
even
the team is going
before,
to
is it?
approach this draft. For now,
The
we
download
have
is
Maybe
63.
a
the
Wi-Fi is
Aurelia,
more
the
stable.
Pantheon, and the Ornn band away.
You wanna try
I
again?
think I should try that.
of Mad Lions.
Yeah,
You
why
put
not?
Everything on the table, especially with players.
I'm
mean,
probably
you
gonna have
can
to
do
play
it
something
also
like
if
I
Vex.
need to hide some cards because
Dude, the thing is, I don't wanna fuck it up because my
to the playoffs with having those secret.
what's that? My it's my promo, dude. Remember I went
are
back
on
to
promo.
freaking
Nice. You know what? I have
yeah, but for
I have two.
for what?
LP.
For B1 because hey what?
Dude, I have two LP.
No, I dropped yesterday to B3 or something or
Oh,
B2.
You were in B1.
You what?
You were in B1.
Yeah, if I win this game, I'm gonna win B1.
I'm B2 now, and I'm almost going back to B3 if I lose a few more games.
Nah, dude, the Wi-Fi is worse, bro. This thing here gives me 223 milliseconds. What the fuck? I think we should try it. Maybe it's more stable. I don't know.
Is there another way to?
You know what I
test
think I'm gonna do? No, I think I'm gonna move this router to the room and use the smaller cable
How
rather.
long does it take to move?
Because I'm thinking this long cable that I have. I mean, this cable here, I think maybe it could be damaged. I don't know. I'm just suspecting.
Mm-hmm.
Because I got a long cable coming from the ONT in the room, all the way to this side. I don't know if that
Where
would
did they put
be.
the ONT in your room?
It's in the room. The ONT is in the bedroom.
And then the router is in the lounge.
No, I put my router next to my computer here in the living room. Because I don't have a long cable to connect to the. I don't know. And the thing is, the range is much better when it's here.
So what you gonna
If
do?
it's the room, I was thinking of moving the router now to the and put it next to the ONT. Use my small Ethernet cable to connect to the ONT. So I'm gonna disconnect that long ass cable
And then use
and
Wi-Fi.
then connect via Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah, let me try that quick.
Cool.
Sure.
And they just say, hey, do it. I don't believe you. Do it. We think it's a bluff. So see if they're going to ban away the Kaisa as well. Have to feel like that'd be Reckless's next choice. See
Garen,
how mad... Yeah, Garen as well.
Garen Karma. What's coming next?
Garen Karma. We could have Garen Yumi back, alive and well. She doesn't do damage anymore, but she can keep the Garen really, really healthy the entire game.
Yeah, it's good to promote health right now. It's the time to do it. Garen, stay healthy. Everyone stay healthy. Stay safe.
Thank you, Yamato. I appreciate your PSA. I'm sure the world does as well. Wash your hands if you're watching this right now. If you haven't in a while, just do it. Why not? The Gangplank though is going to be the ban here, so they're not taking the Kaisa away, limiting some of Whippo's comfort picks. It looks like they think the set is going bot lane. And if you're Mad Lions, Yamato, what are you thinking about right now? Like, what are you, when you look at this Fnatic composition, you said it's so hard to tell where anything is going. If you were their coach, what would you be trying to prioritize?
I wonder if they kind of just shoot themselves in the foot with Gangplank ban, because I like when Mad Lions just fourth pick a top laner, keep it blind. I think now they're going to lean towards an Aatrox maybe. Last pick mid lane, I think that's better for Humanoid. I think that's going through their mind. Just let them have the Kai'Sa so we know what's coming. I think that's the plan here with the GP ban.
Definitely
Fnatic,
potential variables.
want to
We'll
go
have see
for-
if Fnatic want to go for that. For now, though, Aatrox, very safe blind pick, solid to have in the hands of Arome. See how Fnatic want to respond, if it is just putting the set top lane, or if they have something special cooked up.
Let's see, I'm trying to think. Can't think of anything spicy, but it's with Whipple. He's the man to think of something spicy. I'm just gonna let him lock in, not do any predictions, because I always look silly when I try to predict any Fnatic picks.
Yeah, I mean, it's like predicting Fnatic G2 is such a... We might as well just roll dice and guess where things are going to go. Zyrakan, though,
That still exists.
that's a throwback. It does still exist, you're right. Hylissang Rakan, something that was perma'd against him, I think, for most of the start of the season. And now it's going right into his hands, and that means that most likely we've got that set in the top lane and Syndra in the mid. Syndra Olaf, a terrifying duo to play against. And if I'm mad, well, yeah, they're going to be sad Lions before they're mad Lions at this rate, looking at this Fnatic composition.
Honestly, Fnatic, Zyrakan, I completely forgot about it, but I really like the look-in. I think Rakan is super good against Trash, and it's very, very hard to go wrong with Zyrakan in general, unless you're playing like against a really hard counter with a very strong jungler, like a Caitlyn Morgana with Elise or something. And this is a case where I think they can get away with a lot. Zyrakan is going to scale super well into the game. We'll have to pay attention to that bottom side, because getting away from Olaf is super hard as MF Trash, unless Trash kind of positions with a Lantern or something like that.
I think on the mad side, though, good to see Humanoid has Zoe. That's going to be a relatively comfortable pick for him as well. Or for him, he's got the cleanse as well, so he can at least mitigate one of these ganks. I'm very concerned, however, Yamato, about Arome on the top side of the map. Not because of the matchup, but just because Arome isn't necessarily the strongest laner in the league, and Bwipo has, quite frankly, just been on fire for the past few weeks.
Yeah, I'm with you. Especially into Aatrox, I am a fan of this side, especially because he actually benefited from some of the bruiser item changes that came in with the Blade Ruin King. It's such a good purchase because you punch twice, apply that passive twice from Blade Ruin King. And I think in general, whenever Aroma is played like a champion that is, requires activity in the early game, because I don't think Aatrox scaling is that impressive, like for example a Gangplank or something like that. We'll just have to see, because I think you have a great point that Aroma might be a target.
Absolutely will. Well, here we go, the final game of our first day of Week 9, Fnatic versus the Mad Lions. And Yamato, there's a lot to talk about here in terms of lanes, but right now I think we got to talk about level 1s. Fnatic, 4 members stacked up in the bush, potentially looking to start this game off with first blood. Shadow has to be very careful.
Oh.
Let's spot it out. It looks like, yeah, Fnatic are going to walk away there. So they don't lose anything for doing that. They kill a ward, so technically are in the lead right now.
Fnatic is one of the few teams that actually gets in and does things. Level 1. It's such an easy way to kind of start off the game on such a strong foot, and especially with the Olaf. I like level 1 action in general. I support it.
I agree. I think it's one of those things where if you look at the potential risks on paper, a lot of teams might want to avoid it depending on how strong their level 1 is. But I think if you do it right, if you're grouped up and the enemy team isn't waiting 5 members stacked in the bush, it's mostly risk-free. Always a bit of a gamble, but Fnatic always seem to make it work now as we enter the laning phase. And inevitably, outside of the top lane, I gotta put my eyes on the jungle. Yamato, Shadow, obviously a huge playmaker for Mad, but self-made on this very oppressive Olaf pick. What are the expectations here for the early game?
A key thing is Olaf needs to make sure that he uses his prior lane. I hope Syndra is going to contest in a very aggressive way. The key advantage Olaf has is, of course, that he clears faster. If Gragas gets to that point where he's level 7 and 8 and he's even with Olaf, all of a sudden Olaf is going to fall off. But he has a lot of good lanes here to work with, and as long as Olaf uses his advantage to get maybe Zyrakan ahead, or maybe punish the Gragas in some shape or form, Fnatic's lanes are going to begin to kind of pay for themselves, and I think this is the approach that Selfmade needs to have. Needs to be aggression. I don't like the scaling approach when you play Olaf.
Absolutely agree. And that's why I always feel like Olaf is such a volatile champion. There's this pressure to get something done. It feels like anytime you see him on the Rift, he is one camp ahead and running to his 4th. whereas it's just the third camp being started now from Shadow. Wolves into Raptors into red for Shadow. Meanwhile, entire top side now potentially into either Krugs or red buff. It will be red buff for Selfmade, so Olaf completely pulling ahead. Have to see if he even wants to go for any ganks at this stage. Bot lane has a lot of setup. Mid lane has a lot of setup. Only top lane really feels like it's kind of just doing its own thing.
I love the Olaf design. I don't think people appreciate it enough because it's a Viking, you know. Vikings just want to fight, they want to make it quick, they want to run it down, go to Valhalla, and then, you know, their job is done. And then the rest of the late game is like, what am I doing here? I want to be sent to Valhalla. I'm 0-6 already, you know, make it quick. Make it quick, please.
It's like, I thought I died an honorable death. Send me to Valhalla. They're like, no, dude, you're back on the Rift. You're like, please, sir. This is it. I'm done. I died in battle. I would like to go now. Yeah, League's cruel that way, man. I feel like Olaf just wants to be free. He's just shredding through these keeps, waiting for his opportunity to die a glorious death. It's a rough life.
For sure, man. I wonder if that's his lore. I haven't read his lore. Would be surprised if it did.
Look, I'm just saying there's always more opportunities for a Yamato ASMR stream. We could make it a broadcast segment. It's an option.
Let's ship it, man. Let's ship it.
As we check in on the map, though, you can see actually Zoe doing pretty well in the mid lane matchup. About pretty significant CS lead, actually 10 up, burning through mana very quickly. However, you can see Nemesis at least has the advantage there. Only about 150 gold lead so far. And in the top lane, Bwipo's doing fine, and Arome's not falling behind, which is huge, because when you look at these top laners, Arome at 10 minutes is usually at about 70 CS. His opponent on average is at 80. So this is not a man who wins lanes.
And Bwipo got this beloved cheater base in. He has the longsword advantage. That's why Rome is pushing in now, and Bwipo can walk a bit more aggressively. On the other side, Mad Lion is also on bottom. You saw Miss Fortune got this cheater base in with the Doran's blade. So it's funny how both of these lanes interacted and have a slight advantage here. If Fnatic get this wave in, then it's super good for them because the cheater base is not going to matter and they're going to walk away with a recall. That's cool.
Easy to pull in, and now Bwipo, despite the level disadvantage, is just monstering that trade. Arome burns the Umbral Dash at the first Q proc on the Darkened Blade, means he can't really get any follow-up as Bwipo backs off, and like you said, 2 cheater recalls. And that's the thing I think that people often forget about MF Yamato. I think we talk about it a lot, but how ridiculous Strut is, the W, how much movement speed that gives you, how you just have free Mobies all the time.
Yeah, it's just a mobility boots, just active in your kit. When you see those nerfs to Mobi boots, they cost 100 Gs more, and it's just giggly. Arakan is also juicy. I think Fnatic is not going to look any worse because they gave Miss Fortune away in this one.
No, definitely not. Humanoid keeping the pressure up in the mid lane. It is going to reset now as he does shove that wave in. Most likely has to look for a recall, but instead chooses to stick around. The Corrupting Pot keeping him topped up on mana, but this mid lane, he's like, I want to see an aggressive Syndra, and it feels like it's a lot more about aggressively pushing the wave on both sides than it is about trying to go for anything too crazy.
Mage versus mage, the usual, both have a defensive summoner and cleanse, so there's not too much aggression. I think in this game state, considering Gragas is even, I think he's super happy. Infernal Drake over the fact that Miss Fortune is out of mana, needs to base. So I like Fnatic that they're actually getting some kind of advantages. I think this game is going to blow up in about, around 3 minutes around the Rift Herald. Maybe we're going to see some kind of spike with a team fight. I'm hoping for it at least.
Yeah, and I think Mad Lions have to be painfully aware of that potential swap to fight for the Rift Herald. Of course, have the additional movement speed on the MF. Maybe she can get there first. And remember, Fnatic, they're fighting for second. And that is going to be hugely important. It means that G2, now locked in first, cannot choose them in the playoffs, but Mad's battle is even more important, because fighting and getting into top 4 means you get that extra loss. You get the full double elimination experience instead of getting knocked straight to the loser's bracket like Rogue and Misfits are set to if Mad Lions win this game.
That's absolutely nuts considering the position Mad Lions came into the spring split. They have 4 rookies, any type of experience that you can get. The first best of 5 can look night and day different in comparison to the next best of 5. So this best of 1 can mean you can play 3 more games, and that's just insane by itself.
Yeah, it's actually crazy how the stakes have just added up, because this was a game that was poised to kind of mean something, right? But at the end of the day, Mad's schedule was so hard, and Rogue's schedule was on paper so easy that it didn't feel like Mad had a real shot. Now, Rogue losing in a way that I don't think anybody expected. Kind of just an abysmal game from them, and a great game from SK and the Inverse side means that suddenly Mad are playing for all the stakes in the world. It was like they needed to beat OG or they needed to beat Fnatic, and now it's a sure thing if they can beat either one.
Yeah, from experience, just playing the last game of the day when you know these days are so tight and you have like the stars aligning for you. SK just suddenly smurfing on Rogue's face and just getting away with a W, just absolutely huge. Crazy for my Lions.
And now, I mean, like you said, we're kind of just waiting. You said, I think about 9 minutes was kind of the expectation. When is the Herald going to get contested? Obviously, it'll spawn at 8, and it's clear. Selfmade setting up in that area, so they're aware of the objective. Looks like they want to put at least some priority down onto it. Humanoid, though, definitely playing with fire there. Luckily has Shadow to back him up, but always have to give that Olaf respect. Can just ult his way out of your sleep at any moment.
We have
Good
a situation where...
stun.
Oh. We have a situation where I feel like both lanes just are contesting the push so evenly. They're just kind of hitting the wave, and instead we have a situation where for the first time in a long time, it is the top side of the map that is contesting around Rift Herald. But it's so difficult to start it because always when you start it, you're going to be in a worse position than the other team because you are in that little cove. Sometimes the enemy has to face check you, but it's an interesting dynamic we don't see too often because usually it's the bot lanes that rotate up to the Rift Herald.
I feel like this situation isn't too bad overall. Just kind of means I think that we're going to have this stalled out action for at least a little while. I like the confidence here though from Mad Yamato. Moving in, contesting this red buff, trying to take at least some of this jungle away. They're going to blast on over and they're going to get spotted out. But they got 4 members on the bottom side. Selfmade's only 3. Syndra's not in the area. Fnatic
TP.
And he used their TP. Bwipo has the TP advantage. Now he's looking to use it. Now he's zooming his way in and dunking right down. But the Thresh is there to deny the play. And that's the TP advantage as well as the flash gone.
I think Aroma just breathes out. Whew. He's like, I use my TP for my lane. I need to get back, beat by Ninja Tabi, and my team just secured this lane phase for me because now the TP is gonna come off cooldown eventually, and they're going to be able to use this TP advantage. Aroma is super happy. It's always what you get nervous about when you play top lane and the enemy has TP and Prior. Like, please don't get triple kill. And he just got away with murder there. Super good for my Lions.
Absolutely. You look at your bot lane, you're like, please. I know it's my fault, but please don't die. It's all I ask. Don't give him a kill. Don't give him anything. Like, please, I swear, I will turn this around if you just do not die to Bwipo. And lo and behold, the prayers are answered. Bwipo not able to find anything there. Gold dead even as we get close to 10 minutes. Fnatic's real only advantage is the fact that they have the Infernal Drake. And we're slowly getting closer and closer to that Blade of the Rune King for Bwipo, which I feel like will make this matchup very, very hard for Arome. Especially because he's gone for the Cold.
What on earth is he buying? He's kind of buying a bit of everything. The Doran Shield, Cull, Kindred Gem, Ninja Tabi. It just means he's going to finish whatever core item he's building, which is probably Black Cleaver so late. Whenever that Blade Runner King lands, as you just said, it's going to be tough in that side lane. Hopefully the Predator Gragas are going to back him up and cover for him. That's what he's playing for next.
Now finally we have the swap, the Ignite already going down just to stop that MF passive from going through. Big damage follow-up. Carzzy not afraid, however. Reckless stepping on the front line to flash forward. Reckless now in trouble, uses his ult, wants to pull the feathers back, but Reckless, no, biting off more than he can chew and coming out looking like a fool. Well played by Carzzy.
I can't believe it. Humanoid had a redemption in his hand. He just looted it on the wave and he's like, hey, I'm going to toss it up like a pizza up there. And then I don't think even Carzzy realized because he kind of stepped it into it so late. You gotta see the replay. It looked like such a free kill. The flash came out early. I thought Carzzy was gonna be dead for sure. The combo lands, boom, the Guardian, and then there's a redemption. Where is this coming from? It's Zoe! Zoe looted it in the lane! It's so crazy that this happens because it's just a difference of 1-for-1 with MF losing the wave. Instead we have a 1-for-0 and Xayah's losing the wave.
And Yamato, sometimes we're playing League of Legends and sometimes we're playing Legends of Runeterra. Just like top deck redemption. Why not? You know what I mean? Just like draw the perfect card. Why not? Get exactly what you need on the Zoe. So, I mean, well played by Humanoid, well played by Mad, but for Reckless, that's one of those, I don't even think you can be upset. You can be upset about Zoe getting that, but you have to know, like, oh yeah, I was right, but my damage calculations go from being perfect to 300 off when there's a free redemption involved. Now have the Herald resets. Fnatic have to walk away empty-handed once again. Mad starting to pull into the lead, and because Fnatic are the team to start it, Mad are now in a decent position to take it themselves.
I was surprised that the aggro bar wasn't going down for some while. I thought Fnatic thought of some new strategy where you can take Rift Herald behind the corner, but luckily it reset because it kind of blew my mind for a second there.
Yeah, I thought they were changing the game. Not going to come through, but Nemesis now going to be in trouble. Body slam. Nemesis cleanses out. Flash in. That's going to be the Ignite. Humanoid. Once again, this man's rolling perfectly on these summoner spells. The Lantern, though, will not save Shadow. Humanoid doesn't need it. It's a bit embarrassing, but that means Selfmade will make it the 1-for-1.
We were talking earlier about how the stars have aligned for Mad Lions. Picking up an Ignite, securing the kill after the exhaust drops for Nemesis is just... it's so wild. It's so wild.
Wait, I think he got the Ignite toppling from Hylissang. I think
Okay,
that's
thank God.
either it's.
Thank
I'm
God.
not sure. It's either the Creeper Hylissang. Without replay access, I couldn't look back and check, but pretty sure he got Redemption toppling, which gives him the kill. No, he didn't walk back to toppling. It is RNG. It is the creep.
My goodness.
What a time to be alive, man. Humanoid. This is why Humanoid plays Zoe. He's
Put
good
all
at
on
Zoe,
red, brother.
and he's he's the best RNG we've ever seen.
What's coming next? I'm excited. You know, whenever those bubbles are gonna float in on those minions, what he's gonna pick up? Maybe a TP all
Every
of a
time.
sudden.
Ooh. I think you can get TP anymore. I think they took
Yeah.
that out because it was just too broken.
I
Lucky
know.
for him. Can only steal Blippos. Single TP in the game, which is interesting because Fnatic are usually, have more globals, have more potential to move around the map. Surprised to see them. I understand why they have to take Cleanse mid lane, but surprised to not see them pack at least one more TP on this team composition.
I like what we're seeing though, you know, we might have like a boring and slow game, but it just kind of shows that both teams are contesting the right space. So it's all about that river control on top side, and both teams are dancing around it. Whenever Mad Lions are showing a river, Fnatic take prior from top, and then it kind of bounces back and forth. It's all about, you know, making sure when you face check these bushes that you don't get caught for like a hook or something. Oh,
Ooh, good knockup. Charm, they're trying to follow through with all the CC that they can. They're going to take Shadow out before he can click the Lantern. Double, triple wards placed to deny that Lantern. Good coordination from Fnatic.
luckily there's no luck involved when it comes to lanterns. Just warding. Good catch there onto Shadow. Means that Riftel's gonna be secured.
Another redemption. Nemesis is gonna die. Oh, he's ticking. Corrupting Potion. Oh, outweighs the Corrupting Potion damage. Just barely living.
He's continuing. He's continuing. He doesn't stop Humanoid.
Humanoid was on a roll. And there's now a TP coming in from Mad. Not sure where we got. Oh, good news is Olaf is able to grab that one, but now he's running past Misfortunate Trouble. Self-made. Playing like a man possessed. Connects, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Orome's going to come in and finish the job, but that was excellent from Self-made.
Valhalla, take me home! He just sacrificed his life there for the Rift Throw. The fact that he stole it is so huge.
That was the Warrior's death. That was the
For
Warrior's
sure.
death we were waiting for.
He could just send him to Valhalla straight away. All the beer that he ever wants. Just take it.
Look, he slayed the giant monster. He slayed the MF2. Perfect situation. That's a hashtag worth sort of trade. We'll see what he does with the Rift Herald. Maybe this can get Fnatic out of the gold hole that they're in. It's only about 1,000 down, a little bit less. As Rome's trying to get something done here, but has to be careful. Hylissang can't just re-engage. Luckily, Shadow is in the area. And Fnatic with 2 Drakes up, feel like have evened things out overall, but I'm impressed with how Mad have been playing.
Yeah, my lines have kept up, and Humanoid, I feel like we call him inconsistent always for a good reason, because most of the weeks he was quite inconsistent, but I feel like he kind of mellowed out and has been more stable the last weeks. I think the next thing that I'm looking forward to now is, you know, considering both of these compositions. Wait, whip on the bush. Whip on the bush.
Ooh, the long con. One man, one desire.
Clancy's back, huh?
Self-Made is pissed he didn't get into Valhalla. He's coming. He's running it down. Oh, he's trying to get something done, but Card's just going to be able to grab the Lantern and walk away. Mid does not want to overcommit. We're going to try to find someone to suplex back into the tower to use as a fairy to safety. The sidestep on that big fat haymaker connects on Kaiser. That's going to be the 1-2 punch before flashing out, and Shadow buries him to safety with the cast. Incredible. Oh! Big whiff on his cast, but now Blippo and they're still alive. Oh, the double up! Are you kidding me, Carzzy? Carzzy find that one. He's going to get another one. The haymaker's not enough. Double kill for Carzzy, but he has to die in the process. What is this game?
My goodness, this was a 2v4. This was a 2v4 that ended 2 for 3. Oh my goodness, Fnatic get a full top tower, top side, they keep pushing, a lot of CS lost, Syndra's pushing mid. Everything is kind of collapsing it for Mad Lions because this dive was an absolute disaster. And on top of that, you know, I loved how the redemption fell, but then I actually saw that, you know, there's one in Kaiser's inventory, so thank God, you know, another one is dropping in terms of RNG. Let's see this situation again, because Kaiser gets saved by the Lantern, the redemption drops. How to see how this goes, because Whipper plays it so beautifully. He catches Thresh, gets his path into the turret, and gets a stun off, and that W is just humongous on so many people, man. It's very, very nice here from Whipper.
Gets the flash at the perfect time, so the cast sends him back under his own tower. With the Blade of the Rune King, he does so much damage. That was a generous angle on that double up, but it works in the end. Whippo gets taken out. Good haymaker from Whippo to turn it around as best he can, but that was... I'm going to watch that replay like 3 times after this cast, because that was just such a mess. It looked so cool, but no one walks away from that play like, yeah, okay, we played that one perfectly, except for probably Whippo.
That was pretty damn wild. The change-up for this game, though, considering mid-turret is gone, that's so huge for a champion like Zoe. She always needs a lot of space to play with, having no mid-turret, no top turret. Fnatic got so much space to play with. We're going to see some crazy Hylissang flanks on top of Humanoid, because this is how you defeat a Thresh and a Zoe. When they don't have the protection of that mid-turret, it's going to become very difficult to contest the mid-progress, considering there is no Rift Herald for them to take to even that out as well.
And Rome is getting absolutely blasted here and try to get a bit more healing. The tower is going to keep him alive for now, but that Blade of the Rune King on top of the Executioner's Calling means Rome has a very hard time in the 1v1. But we're going to turn back, though. Very aggressive. Predator now on the way in. Whippo debating his options here. Has the Haymaker. Has to wait. Pulls back with the Facebreaker. Can throw out the Haymaker now if he wants to, but it's too little too late. And a good collapse from Mad Lions. But now Humanoid is the man in trouble. There's no way he makes out of this one. Hylissang just going to ult for good measure. Going to be a kill traded back for Fnatic.
What's up?
Seems like Whippo also heard the rumblings of Valhalla. He just kind of ran up there and needs to pay attention to what Fnatic is doing on the map. They're hovering into both sides. Whippo's playing safe side there. He had the TP advantage, and the only play Mad Lions have there is to attack the TP, because otherwise they're going to be outnumbered. Because Orome, as we mentioned before.
What is it?
I don't know, maybe I should say it's 230.
230.
Yes. Yeah, 230, that's
But
fucking high, man.
the thing is, what was it going up to in game?
It was going up to 270, 260, 270.
You don't think it's stable now? 230 stable.
Dude.
230 stable. You can play.
Yeah, I could play.
You
I don't
know,
want
I've
to take
tested-
chances. It's
no,
not
I've
one
tested
game.
on, what do you call?
Test it
in
with
the-
what?
In the practice option.
Does it show the ping on the practice thing?
I don't know. No, but that's not running from the server.
Yeah, that thing there, it just runs locally then.
It's up to you.
No, it's fine, dude. I don't think I'll play. I'll just call those guys to sort it out tomorrow. I need them to reset my line.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I think I'd rather do that. Then tomorrow, of course, I'm gonna be playing tomorrow. I don't have work tomorrow, so fuck it.
Okay.
I'm only gonna work on Monday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna watch this game and then play one, and
Hmm?
then I'm gonna just watch the Fnatic play, and then I'll have one.
Yeah. Alright, cool. So let me just go to bed. I'll watch some stuff in bed.
Okay, cool. Cheers.
Alright, sharp, man.
You want to send Orome on the bot side, and you want to kind of play a 4-1 situation with the Misfortune Zoe. Maybe consider even putting Misfortune on side, because she's so much quicker with the movie boost that we mentioned earlier, so she can always move back after catching top side.
And Mad Lions is just a team that's kind of hard to predict. As we get into the mid to late game, sometimes they're making these incredible, fantastic plays. Sometimes they're getting caught left and right. And sadly, this game has been a mix of both for them. We've seen really solid plays. We've seen Orome getting caught. We've seen Humanoid getting caught. Maybe they can pull it together now, as the team has grouped up here around the Baron Pit to lay down a bit of vision. But that's big damage coming in from the Syndra. Double Magic Pen means that Carzzy probably gets one shot if these fights don't go in their favor. The delay on Redemption healing is going to cost them a lot in any potential fights to come, but Fnatic busy elsewhere on the map means that they will give up this tier 1 top tower.
It's difficult in a perfect macro game to keep those tier 1 turrets alive. They are in so close proximity to everything. Fnatic should be able to take a lot of mid lane space, but it seems that they're just hovering around mid lane. Not willing to face chicken in bushes, while Zoe and Atros are showing on top side. I think they could be a bit more aggressive here. But I just thought it was hilarious how Humanoid looted another Redemption and he just used it up top. It's just, he's just calling a service. I need a Redemption, and then the minions are coming in. Hey, okay, UPS.
Excuse me, Riot Games. Can I get a redemption, please? Oh, thank you. That's how we keep the script going. If you're wondering, we just throw a couple redemptions in, make things interesting. That's a joke. Some people can't tell when I'm being sarcastic, so I just want to be clear that's a joke, because I'm going to get some conspiracy thread on Reddit like 5 minutes from now about like, are they serious? Are they doing? No, that's a joke. He's just very lucky, which, hey, doesn't hurt when you're playing against Fnatic. And right now, still gold even. I'm going to keep saying it because it keeps being the case. But now with Dragon a minute away and Baron up, I am quite concerned for Mad Lions.
I mentioned those items. We have double needlessly large road and that double penetration on Syndra. Finished Infinity Edge. This makes such a huge difference because if you look at Mad Lions' side, no IE, no double penetration for humanoid. So this is going to make a big difference in the next fight.
Yeah, Merc Tread's a bit awkward there. It means he will not get one shot by the Syndra with the ultimate, but also means that he's not nearly as lethal to someone like Reckless. Good damage there, though, on the Paddle Star, and consistently trying to use this terrain to extend the range on the Sleepy Trouble Bubble, trying to find that big pick. And I mean, there's a Thresh, there's a Gragas, there's a Zoe. All it takes is one really good piece of CC to kick a fight off in favor of Mad Lions.
Mad Lions definitely need to land the right spells. They need to play the poke game, while Fnatic can be a bit more explosive in the way they engage. Hylissang, as long as he gets spotted, I think Mad Lions are very comfortable. Hylissang, I want him to see, I wanted to come out behind, maybe W over the wall and look for a flank, because that is going to be the game decided. Mad Lions are looking for him. They know. They know.
Trying to see it. He moving over. Hylissang finds it. That is the best Rakan I have seen in a very long time, but the follow-up is not there. Now, suddenly, Bwipo dunking back down, and it's all, after all, it's highlight real material. But we're pulling two back to the face breaker, and Fnatic still just absolutely shredding through on this fight. Excellent start from Hylissang. Good follow from Bwipo, and now Mad are just left running as the double kill comes through from Nemesis.
My goodness. Hylissang on the Rakan. I can't believe I forgot it in the Champions Select. Zyrakan. And that's the Ocean Soul as well. This is looking grim for Mad Lions.
Yamato, I think Mad forgot about it as well, because you can't forget the Hylissang Rakan. That was excellent engage. It took a little while for the follow-up to get there. I got a little concerned that he may have just ran in for nothing, but when finally the damage came through, it was more than enough. And now it's on a Rome and Shadow to stop this Baron from going down. But with the Ocean Soul, Fnatic are going to be pretty healthy through the entire take.
Bwipo should just chase Gragas around. He's hitting the Nash, and now it's turning into a 50-50. Dangerous stuff. Fourth place, Mad Lions.
Tag's ticked. Can he get it? It's not going to be enough. He goes over the wall. Oh, hero play from Shadow, but he fails the flash to insult to injury. Self-made potentially in trouble here, but Bwipo's going to stick around, brother in arms. Doesn't look like they both want to go to Valhalla, though. Bwipo thinks better of it. He's going to make his way out on this one. Can try to turn, though. If Rome gets too greedy here, Bwipo can look to... He's trying to stall, trying to buy time for the ultimate, waiting on the Haymaker. The Ocean Soul keeping him healthy. So much coming in from that Ocean Soul. The healing here is disgusting. The Haymaker will not connect, but big damage from Nemesis. He is just cleaning house. Double kill in the last fight. Double kill now here around the pit. He's going to fish for the triple. We'll see who gets it in the end, but Mad Lions went from dead... or close, neck and neck in this game, to just getting absolutely blasted.
Fnatic just went for a crazy 50-50. They wanted to go for it, and then Mad Lions seemed to have like a good chase going on. And then Fnatic so ice cold and patiently, like, we can stall this. Whip was running around with his Ocean Soul. He looked pretty dead, but then boom, like a snapping turtle, just snap back, boom. Mad Lions cut in half.
Yeah. Today on this episode of I Shouldn't Be Alive, a set with Ocean Soul refuses to die, and you can see Shadow, he's trying, and then in the moment as he gets pulled back, he panics. I think the pullback stopped that flash from taking him over the wall, and that's just brutal.
That was a rough flash. And then it's so beautiful here. Whip was like jogging around, like moving, he's punching a little bit, waiting for cooldowns. Nemesis casually doing blue buff, why not? And then here we go, here comes the snapping turtle, turn around, Bwipo. Actually, I screwed it up. The snapping turtle comes soon. There's the snapping turtle. There we go.
Boom, boom, boom. I mean,
my timing was off.
Matt put the hand in the mouth. You know what I mean? If you put your hand in the mouth of the snapping turtle, and will you expect not to get bitten? So, well played overall by Fnatic. I gotta say, Bwipo was probably counting down the seconds till his ult came back up. You know he wanted to look for the dunking Aatrox to that back line, but for now, Haymaker's gonna have to be the thing that keeps him alive. Ocean Soul and the additional regen on his passive means that he's still living, but Humanoid gonna finish that one out. Meanwhile, the rest of Fnatic just looking to end the game, walking down, breaking some inhibitors. They've got bot lane and they've got mid lane, so while Mad got the consolation prize of taking down Bwipo after that last fight, not gonna get much else.
One of those situations where I don't mind Bwipo dying, because it's just, I can imagine his voice saying, what are they doing here? They're losing the base. What are they actually doing here? Because they just lost a clean inhib, and maybe with Mad Lions composition, maybe they could stall out a bit longer, you know, maybe poke with Zoe a little bit. You know, those extra minions are going to mean that they get a bit of more gold, but I don't think that's going to be the difference maker here. I think Fnatic are very happy to trade one for an inhibitor there.
Yeah, and you look at Bwipo's build, I mean, he's doing well in team fights, but he's also built to split push, so if they're going to send 3 people to kill him, the rest of the team is totally happy with that exchange. Now, good news for Orome is that he does now have the Death Stance, bit of MR, bit of armor now with the changes coming through on this patch, additional sustain too. Still think the 1v1 is so hard for him, but we've seen what an Aatrox can do in the right situation in a late game fight. Maybe he can find that flank and get something happening in Mad's favor.
It's also the conversation of playoffs and defining the kind of playstyles of these teams, and Mad Lions is one of those teams where I feel like they have the most success when Orome is playing something that is more weak side oriented, which is fine for an Aatrox most of the time because he's not going to fall that far behind, but I don't feel like Aatrox is going to be impactful enough for Orome in these team fights. I think you need to have like a pristine, crystal clear Aatrox, like a Wunder in team fights, coming from those flanks, finding those angles, or
you need
even
that,
further like the Shy.
Yeah, you need that the Shy highlight versus G2 where he just like dunked down. Against Fnatic. It was against Fnatic where he just dunked down and killed an entire team with a Q basically. Like that's what you need, and I'm not sure if Orome has it in him. We'll hold out, but for now it is just the survival game for Mad. Fnatic can take their time. If they get Elder, the game is over. If they get Baron again, the game is over. So they're really in no rush.
They can just control the space. Hylissang's gonna find that beautiful flank again because Mad Lions need to face check. And at this point in the game, no one in the game can actually face check. You're gonna face check and you're gonna die. You can pray for 3 redemptions if you want to. The Executioner's Calling is gonna have a lot of value, but that's not gonna save you at all. So Fnatic definitely in control.
Yeah, and important to remember, we've talked about stakes before, but for Mad Lions, they need you to win a single game after Rogue's loss today to secure 4th place in the league. One game. It's either here versus Fnatic or tomorrow versus Origin. One game is all it takes, and while they are down in this game, they're not out yet. They can't afford to get tilted. They can't afford to lose sight of the goal in front of them, because as much as it looks like Fnatic are poised to win, Mad turning this one around is hugely season defining. In the past, 5 versus 6, 4 versus 5 versus 6, like nobody really cared. It was 1 or 2 or nothing. But in this season with the new rule set, top 4 is everything.
For sure, man. So crazy. I was considering Misfits and Rogue, they don't have that much experience in best of 5s. When I look at Fnatic and G2, they don't kind of care. They just want to kind of win the whole split. That's what they're gunning at. At Lions, the other teams, it's all about that experience. Anything they can take, they should just grab. And this was the moment to grab it. Maybe a steal or some of the miracle Zoe bubbles. Who knows? It needs to happen now.
Nemesis right now setting up the pick in the bush. You can see him just spamming Dark Spheres just to make sure that ult's going to do as much damage as possible. Bwipo trying to get some mid lane control. Carzzy set to clear out the wave on the side. Everything is about setting up for this objective for both these teams. But right now, Nemesis is fishing for the pick. Ooh, good cast, good knockback. Shadow tries to go over the wall, but it's not going to happen. The re-engage is there. A beautiful Zhonya so to buy a bit more time. The redemption coming in as well. Humanoid. Oh, the team. Are you kidding me? Fnatic, gods of team fighting here in the LEC, and now they're just taking their time with it. They're running them down, and Orome can't do anything. Hylissang's got the fancy shoes on. He's moving so fast, and Orome might get the Lantern out to safety, but that is most certainly the end of the game as Kai'Sa is just next on the list. Double kill for Rekkles. He'll look to make it a triple as Fnatic will just barrel down the bottom lane and close this game out.
Honestly, that Zoe playing peekaboo, showing up, Bwipo picks him up, slams him down, and Fnatic, sure, Mad Lions, they still can live to fight another day tomorrow, but for today, crushing Mad Lions' dreams.
Beautiful win from Fnatic, gotta say it. Really, Mad Lions doing okay at the start of the game, but never really advantaged, just at best going even, and when Fnatic started to get rolling, there was just nothing left. There, you just couldn't do it. Ocean Soul was probably the final nail in the coffin, and Mad Lions were just slowly watching themselves lose the game. Brutal way to go out, but as you said, they have to stay composed. They have to play Origin tomorrow, and a win there will still lock them in top 4 and lock both Misfits and Rogue out.
Honestly, Fnatic just showing what top European class means. It's all about those small victories all over the map, the CS advantages, the movements, the pickoffs on, like for example, Gragas before the Rift Herald, the way Selfmade played that little fight, all these small pieces that eventually amounts to the situation where, okay, the enemy team has an IE advantage over the BF and the pickaxe, and all of a sudden that 4th Drake fight looks so much easier for Fnatic because of all of these small advantages, just Fnatic with a very, very clinical performance.
Overall, yeah, it looked fantastic, and some highlight reel moments as well. I think we had multiple beautiful ults from both Hylissang and Bwipo, the kind of setup that you love to see. And looking back at that game, I mean, I just think that what we're seeing from Fnatic and Draft, I'm so ready for Fnatic versus G2. That's really all it is. I can think of a million different ways to say it, but that's the bottom line. I'm just so ready for Fnatic versus G2 because Fnatic are doing all the crazy stuff in Draft that I love to see from G2, and they're looking stronger and stronger. And even though G2 2-0'd them this season, I feel like a best of 5 of that is everything I could possibly want.
It's going to be so crazy. It's crazy how fast the split has gone by, because that best of 5 is what we've been thinking about ever since we saw them play the last time. And now being so close to it is just absolutely insane. It's going to be an absolute banger. Mad Lions on the other side. I think they showed some promise here in this game against Fnatic. Definitely, if they play like this against Origin, I think this is going to be a competitive game, because I think Origin will not be the type of team that kind of rolls over you. And I think Mad Lions, if someone told me no name tags here, who's this team, I'll be like, oh, this could potentially look like an Origin level of gameplay. And I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup. The last time Xerxes absolutely demolished them in the jungle, the Shadow with the Karthus. If Mad Lions don't do something like that, where they just lose the game in 5 minutes, I think it's going to be a very competitive game.
And I just never know what to expect from Mad Lions, Yamato. Sometimes they look incredible, sometimes they look a little bit lost. We're going to have to find out. But in the meantime, Kia Player of the Game at Twitter is the place. At LEC is the account. Blippo, Selfmade, or Hilly are your options. And in the meantime, we've got an interview ready with a member of the victorious Fnatic.
Thank you, Mithi, for joining me. Actually, it's the first today. It's been 9 weeks since you embraced this new challenge as a coach. So what strikes you as the most challenging part and interesting part of the work so far?
Hello. It's a good question. I don't really know how to answer that, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, I just try to help the guys, and I guess the challenge sometimes is dealing with 5 pro gamers. You know, you have to be a bit crazy to be a pro gamer, so but it's okay because I'm crazy too, so it kind of works out.
To be a pro gamer yourself, so you know what you're talking about, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
I know that every team organizes in a different way usually. So can you tell me about the way Fnatic organizes? You have a mix of rising players and experienced players within the same team. So do you, as a coach, have the final word, or is it more of a discussion between you guys?
We try to make it be a discussion. I don't think I've ever been put in that situation yet where I have to make like a really final call about something very important. I think it doesn't really matter if people are experienced or rookies. Everyone has a lot of respect for each other and trust. I'd like to believe so, at least. So there's that. And yeah, I think it's just mostly a team effort. I think everyone just tries to play their part. Sometimes I feel like I'm like a little bit too much of like the guy that is telling people what to do, but we're trying to tune that down. I think like the role I try to have in the team is more of a sixth player that, like, I don't know, that isn't very that is not playing, you know, and it's mostly just like seeing the game from the outside and trying to give them a fresher perspective on something. So that's kind of the role I'm trying to have.
I see, and you managed to do it really well. I mean, Fnatic is locked in playoff and maybe about to take top 2. And I mean, you've been carrying a heavy name, if I may say, because over the years we often mentioned the expectations and pressure that comes with the orange and black jersey. So how did you manage to work around this and not let it affect you when you do your work?
I've had the luxury of having worn a lot of very important and colorful jerseys along my career. So at this point, you know, I just don't think about it too much. I just appreciate, you know, all the fans that support every team and just League of Legends and let us do what we do and, you know, make a living out of it. So I just go with the flow and try to help whenever way I can.
And you mentioned it yourself, you played for such a long time before role swapping, if I can call it this way. So did you have any expectations when it comes to coaching that turned out to be either false or more complicated than it seemed to begin with?
No, I mean, I think it's, the one thing that I didn't expect is the balance between watching games and playing games. Usually I've been playing for like 8 to 12 hours a day every day for in the past, and then having to watch games for like 6 hours, and then like not really knowing what to do with my life, because like sure I could do like the usual normal people stuff, going to the gym and taking care of myself, you know, all that stuff, but then at the same time I actually feel like I want to play the game too. So I'm having a hard time balancing myself out, but I think, you know, with time it should get better, hopefully. So yeah, we'll see about that. But the luxury is at least I'm playing a lot right now, so I also feel like I really understand like the game at a quite good level. So yeah.
And
I'm confident in what I have to say.
I have a follow-up on that, because you've been playing for so long, and now you have to just, I mean, you're on stage to draft, and then you have to go backstage and just basically let the magic happen. So how is it being not helpless, but just having to watch backstage when you've been used to playing on stage for so long?
Oh, it's really annoying actually, because I see the whole map, and I also like mostly understand what my players are going through in their thought process and so on, and sometimes I get really pissed off, but you know they don't see any of that, so yeah, it's quite a frustrating feeling. At first it was just nerve-wracking, but now it's just getting more and more frustrating.
I mean, given the result, they must be doing pretty well. I mean, is there anything you would like to say to your players, actually? Some praise? I know that Wipo is waiting for the post-game lobby, so anything you want to say to them?
No, they're doing great, of course. You know, it's just like the feeling of being backstage and not really having any chance to influence the game that's making me frustrated. Not like that they're playing bad or anything that, you know. Yeah, no, like the guys are doing great, and they're putting even extra effort for players, and we can, like, I can really feel that. You know, we've been having the trouble of having to practice online and all that, so you know, it's kind of hard sometimes to get the point across and work through the internet without having the empathy of